Okay, folks. So, welcome to the Psychic Hour. And if you are able to hear my voice, would you please raise your hand and then put it back down again? But if your hand is up, I'm going to be able to assume. Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you. Whew, this has been an ordeal this evening. And I want to. Oh, there she is. Lisa just appeared. Lisa, thank you for waiting for me to come on. I'm going to make you an organizer so that you can talk to people on here. There we go. And folks, I promise you that I will not shortchange you tonight. We're starting at about 25 after 9. And my apologies for those of you who live on the East Coast because you're going to be up extra late this evening. And thank you so much, folks, for waiting for me to get my electrical problems sorted this evening. We had so much trouble getting on, me and the gal who was helping me from the GoToMeeting people. They have a wonderful support team. I want to thank her very much. And it's just a better idea this evening for me to not be showing my video. So that way we have less chance of the program crashing. Apparently, this area of Florida, in fact, all of Florida, you probably are aware, recently had a visitation from Hurricane Irma, who played a little bit of havoc with our electricity. And thank God, didn't do too bad a job on the rest of people's lives, although it's been a little bit hairy. And so here I am, a little bit worse for the wear, but excited to be here this evening with everybody. Happy to see so many of you online, in spite of the fact that I took so much time to get here. So frankly, you all deserve gold medals this evening. Let me explain, especially for some of the people I see new names here. I'm seeing so many people I recognize, which I love to see these people that have come back again and again. And I also see a bunch of people that are brand new. So let me explain how this whole thing works. The Psychic Hour meets monthly. It's always free. And on the Psychic Hour, you get to interact with me and my guides, and I'm going to be answering your personal questions. And it's interesting, my guides coming through me, they work through me. And as I'm talking to you, we'll be answering, I might be talking to one person and answering their question. And in the process of answering their question, I'm also answering questions for 3 or 4 other people. So I know this sounds a little bit wacky if you haven't been here before, but if you pay attention to every question that I answer, you're probably going to have your questions answered, even if I don't have a chance to call on you. Okay, so this is usually a little bit of teaching mixed in. My guides are wonderful teachers, mixed in with question answering, and any question goes. When you have a question, as you see some of the people on here already have their hands raised, raise your hand so we know you want to talk. You will be able to talk because Lisa will unmute you so that we can hear your voice as you ask your question. If you're shy, you're able to go into the where it says questions down here and type your question in there because Lisa will be going and checking those questions. A lot of them she can answer. So, if you have a question, sometimes that is in her realm, she would be able to answer that for you. Or if she sees a lot of people asking the same question, she'll shoot it through to me. And or if a particular person says, "Hey, this is real important. Can you get this to Sandy?" And some people actually can't talk on their mics for whatever reason. So you can type that question in the chat room, or pardon me, in the question box, and Lisa will read that to me, so you'll still be able to get your answer. Now, people who get answers to their questions, great. If you didn't get an answer to your question by the end of tonight's call, I offer people that if they send me their question via email, one question per person who didn't get a question answered, and you have to physically be on the webinar, you have to have been here for the whole time, that if you send that question to me within 24 hours after the webinar ends, I will answer that question. And it might take me a week or 2 to get to it because I get so many, but I will definitely answer you that one question. That's one of my gifts to you. Makes me feel good to give something back to a universe that is so benevolent to me. So I want to thank everybody for being here with me this evening. It's always a delight. Now, before we get started, now that you have the basic rules, I want to make a couple of announcements. First of all, the next psychic hour, and I promise you by then all my electrical problems will be resolved. This is the first time I've had this happen on this particular call, so I'm really grateful. That it's never happened before, probably never happened again. You just happened to hit the right night for us being late getting started. But the next psychic hour, please put it on your calendar, is October 8th. And again, it'll be 9 to 10 p.m. Eastern Time. If you're living out in California, you get to be doing this while you're eating dinner at 6. So put that on your calendar. I also have a very special class coming up that I wanted to talk to you about a little bit. I know a lot of you on here, because I've had you in classes, are actually already doing psychic readings yourselves, and or some of you are involved in the healing profession, psychic healing. A lot of you have been taking my psychic development classes, so I'm familiar with a lot of you, and a lot of you I know have just come through recommendation. And I want you to know that if you are interested in getting your business as a psychic, as an astrologer, as a tarot reader, as an energy healer, as anything in the metaphysical field, if you're interested in getting that business started and you want to know what your first steps are, I have a 3-part mastermind coaching program that's coming up in October that I highly, highly, highly recommend. It will help you to get started no matter what the level of your expertise is at this point. It'll help you to get started so that if it is your aspiration to be able to earn your living in the field that you love, you will be able to do that. At any rate, that class meets on October 10th, October 17th, and October 24th. So it's meeting just 3 nights. It's for what it is, folks. It's very, very inexpensive. All 3 of those nights are only $150. All 3 nights for that price. Those of you who may have already taken it, I do discount that class half price. If you've been through it once, you can retake the class, and it's almost like having a brand new class because it's brand new people, brand new questions, very, very interactive. I highly recommend it. If you can do it, if that's your aspiration to be a pro, then be on that class. I also want to remind you that time is running out. Our cruise, our psychic cruise that we do each year, is from November 25th to December 2nd this year. We do a psychic fair on the cruise, a drumming circle. I do a messages session. That's the only place you'll ever see me doing a messages session, by the way. And we also have a tour for the group that's going to be planned, exploring some haunted caves. So we really have this exciting thing planned for right after Thanksgiving, and I hope you're going to be able to join us. Time is running out to secure your place for that cruise. So if you want to be on the water and spend a week with a bunch of psychics having a blast, remember to sign up for that. And the last thing I want to make a point of telling you is that my reading special for this month, September, is all about getting in touch with the changes in your life that you need to be able to make to move forward, to grow, and where your greatest evolution is going to occur. The psychic reading special for October, that's going to be coming out really soon, is going to be all about pinpointing and focusing your career and your life direction. I'm going to show you how to strengthen your guides, increase your ability to connect with your deceased loved ones, and get inner guidance as well. So next month, the October reading special, you can order either one of them. And my reading specials are also very, very inexpensive. And you can ask Lisa the price in the chat room. I want to get started here. Okay. So, but if you want to see what getting a reading with me is like, those reading specials are always at a discounted rate for you. Okay, here goes. Lisa, as we unmute somebody, and you're going to pick the first person here, please, as you come on, tell me what you are most grateful for in your life right now. Tell me your name, of course, where you're calling from, and what your astrological sign is, and then ask your question. Who's our first victim, Lisa?
You took the words right out of my mouth. The first victim is going to be Kim. If I can get her unmuted. Kim, you're unmuted.
Hello,
Hello, thank you so much. Thank you again.
Kim. Thank you for
Family,
reading.
okay. I'm grateful for the family and health through this hurricane. I have tons of family in Florida, and their homes were safe and their journey home was safe. That's what I'm grateful for.
Me too.
Yeah. So basically, I have a virtual career. So my question is, what state should I be living in?
Kim, where did you, what sign did you say you were?
Pisces.
Okay, that's important. The chart you see here, and this is going to interest you. By the way, you have a grandmother in spirit who's very closely connected to you. She's one of your guides, and she did this work, and she says you need to do astrology. So I don't normally think of astrology as a Pisces tool, but apparently it would work really well for you. So
Okay.
here is you. Okay, this is the 11th house. And in astrology, this house talks about groups, career, but see the sign Pisces, Neptune. One of the interesting things about being a Pisces, folks, all of you on the call who are Pisces right now, please listen. If you're a Pisces in today's world, especially with the healing planet Chiron also in Pisces, you want to make a difference in the world. It's part of what's going on with you. So when it comes to doing any kind of a career, you can't just go to a place where you're putting in your time card at the beginning of the day, you're putting in your time, and you're leaving at the end of the day. If you do that, can you do it? Of course, you could be talented enough to be able to do just about anything, but you're not going to sustain a sense of self-worth or joy in life if you're doing that. So the first comment I want to make to you, Kim, is that having this stay-at-home job is a really good thing for you, but not unless you can bring a strong sense of values into it. And this feeling of, yeah, what I'm doing is changing lives. It's worthwhile. This is a special thing. The next thing I want to say, and this again is true for all Pisces, is being that you are so incredibly intuitive, artistic, and just in general having this inner sense of, I know how to take this thing inside of me and bring it out and make it visible for other people to see. This is why so many Pisceans are artists or singers, musicians, because you've got this creative part of you. So, Kim, right now it's super important that what you do is creative. Now, as a Pisces, I don't know if you're aware of it, but Florida is a Pisces state. So in spite of the fact that we have, hurricanes in the fall of the year occasionally, this would be a very, very good state for you to be living in. And when I'm asking your grandmother, she likes big old oak trees. Now, can I ask, was that grandmother a Southerner? Because she's showing me these giant sweeping like live oaks.
I'm not sure which one it is. I don't know if it's my great grandmother or which one it is.
Yes,
the great grandmother is from Defuniak. Yeah, great grandmother's from Defuniak Springs. They might have large oaks up there.
And she's showing me these giant, and she says, "This is where you belong." Okay, so she's showing me. And that doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be in Florida, but apparently there's something that you resonate to when you get into that kind of an area where you've got those, I'm talking about those giant sweeping live oaks that are ancient and that you root into the area. But she's also showing not the flat ground we have here in Florida. She's showing, like the rolling hills kind of. So I would put you somewhere probably up the eastern seaboard. And I could be looking at Georgia. I could be looking at South Carolina. I could be looking at northern Florida. That would not be southern Florida. Okay.
I'm Tennessee.
Yeah, Tennessee would have them as well. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now when I started to say, well, that could be up north somewhere, and she said, I'm a Southern Belle, so I don't know, but that's why I said, was she like a Southern Belle? Southerner. That was so there's definitely that feeling in that part of the country, and isn't it nice to be able to take your work wherever. Now, she's going on to say something else, and this is also important. You don't necessarily realize how important the support system of friends is in your life, okay? And I think partially one of the reasons you're thinking of moving is because you're kind of running away from stuff that didn't work out for you where you're currently at. And that's okay. But she says it's very, very important that you move to some place that where you move is going to be close to, I don't know if it's a sister or brother, sibling, or a friend that feels as close as a sister or brother. That seems to be very, very important.
Okay.
Okay? And there is a
Yep.
there's a history with that person. There's roots, and so that would help you to put roots down where you're going. Okay? Hopefully that was helpful.
All right. Thanks.
And study is.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. And who's our next caller, Lisa?
Alrighty, this time we're going to pick on Josephine.
Hello, Josephine.
Maybe. She is self-muted. Josephine, can you unmute yourself? All right, there you go. Hello, Josephine. You're unmuted.
Do you have your mic turned up? You know, you're in here twice. You've got your hand up twice, and one mic is muted and the other isn't. So I don't know how that is, but I'm suspecting you're trying to talk on a mic that's muted.
Okay, are we unmuted?
I can hear you, yes.
And I've never done this before.
Okay, well, there's no time like the present. I love newbies. Welcome, Josephine. Josephine, let me guide you then. What is your state that you're calling from, or other country? Where are you from?
California.
Okay, and I've got cousins in California, beautiful state. And what is your sun sign?
My sun sign?
Yeah, what's your date of birth?
Oh, October. I'm a Scorpio.
You're a Scorpio. Okay. I had a feeling you have that, kind of earthy, down to earth voice of Scorpio. Now watch what I'm doing with my cursor here. You can see my cursor. I'm putting it right here. You see that 29? That's where Scorpio.
Yes.
You're only 30 degrees in a sign. So all of the seventh house, you see that? All of the seventh house is belonging to the sign Scorpio tonight. Okay? Or at least most of it. So with Libra on the cusp of this, all of you Scorpios, wonder of wonder, you're trying so hard to be diplomatic in all of your dealings with people right now. Kudos to you. It does not come naturally.
Boy, you pegged that one. Very diplomatic.
This is called a horary chart. I'm telling you this for Kim, who's going to study astrology. She needs to see that. And a horary chart answers the questions for everybody on the call tonight. That's what we use this for. So everybody's questions are here. It's just amazing how this works. And this Libra says you're trying to be a diplomat, and you are very, very, very concerned with relationships. And that could be not just your own, but your kids, your families, the relationships with people at work. Like all around you, there are these relationship issues going on. And since by house we have Uranus in the other house, things that are totally beyond your control are going on, and they are driving you crazy. Because you and I both know how much Scorpios hate being out of control. So I hope all of you other Scorpios on the call tonight are getting that. And the other signs that are also having the same exact problem that Josephine is are the Aquarians and the Leos and the Taurians. You're all going through this same stuff, except that if you're a Taurus, we're going to throw problems with money in. Okay? And if you're an Aquarian or a Leo, we're going to throw some problems with the kids. They're just not behaving, or the lover, not behaving the way they should be. Okay? So these are issues that all of you guys are having right now. Now, what is your specific question?
Oh, is he okay?
Okay.
I know if you can get him, it'll be wonderful, but I
And
want to know if he's okay.
yeah, my guides are saying is this your husband we're talking about?
No,
Because my guides are saying yes, he's fine, but he looks like he was a marital partner. So who?
no, oh God, no, my son.
Okay. So well,
I'm sorry. You know what? I found you the other day, and I thought maybe he'll come through you. I don't know.
now the person that's coming through when you said is he okay, and of course you want
Hmm.
just a he, okay. And you can't ask a question like that. And I understand you're a beginner at this, so you got to learn how to do this.
I've never done this ever.
So when I knew they were going to give you this, so of course they said yes, he's okay, he's having a blast, and he comes out as a marital partner. So if you have somebody you are married to who's in spirit, you just got a big hello from them, okay?
Okay. Well, you know what? He was the love of my life. So that's
Now,
that's what I'm.
okay, now we're going to ask more specifically. Is your son okay?
Okay.
Okay, different.
Yeah.
Okay. And can I ask, did he pass recently? My guides are saying it wasn't recent, but it feels to him like it was very recent.
No, it's going to be 2 years
Okay,
in November.
yeah, for him that's recent.
Yeah.
Please forgive me for being this direct. Sometimes in an open call like this, it's not so good to be direct, but I feel like with you I can be. Um,
Okay.
when there are some people who, when they pass, they never lose consciousness. Their eyes close here, their eyes open there, and it's literally like nothing has changed. Okay, that is not the way it was for your son. Okay, I think your son was hanging on to this world that we live in very, very, very hard. Okay, and when he closed his eyes, it took him a long time to open them on the other side. Okay? So he is conscious, he is aware, but it's like he's just woken up from a deep sleep. Do you understand what I'm saying? So for
Yeah.
him, for you, it's been a lifetime. For him, it's yesterday. Okay? So
Yeah.
and he's okay in knowing that you are okay, but he doesn't know
Okay.
he's okay yet. Okay?
You know what? I don't. He didn't leave right away. We knew he didn't leave right away. We
Mm-hmm.
could feel him here. It's
Mm-hmm.
only been 8 months that we have felt that he has left.
Yeah, he's new.
I can't explain that or why, but that's how we felt. He
Well,
did not leave us.
and honestly, I think it's because he did, and this is where the feeling of the him being the spouse, even though he wasn't the spouse, comes in because he did have that sense of responsibility for you. So it wasn't just you, but you and the family, and he had to make sure that everybody is safe and everybody's taken care of, and so yeah. But you see, all that directed energy towards here, okay? So
Uh-huh.
his consciousness had not let go. He wasn't there. Okay. At this point,
Yeah.
it's almost like he's a newborn. It feels like he's newborn onto the other side. And in that sense, he's doing fine. But he's not okay in that he's not with you and he wants to be with you. And
Yeah. He had a little girl. She was 5, and he was very, very young. He was very, very young, and none of us, we didn't expect it. It was boom. He was coming to me, and he never made it. It was very, very tragic. He didn't know what hit him. He really didn't know what hit him.
and that was good. But he also didn't know he was gone. Okay.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. I really believe that. I feel it.
Yeah, for
I
him,
can't explain it.
yeah, for him,
You know.
it was what my guide said before. For him, it was like he went to sleep, bam,
Hmm.
he didn't wake up. And when he finally woke up, he's on the other side. It's like, hey, what's this? You see, the whole
Huh.
time he was around you because he was asleep and he was around you. His consciousness was asleep. and he's not asleep anymore. He is now awake. And it's let me just share this with you and everybody else on the call, because we've all lost people that we care deeply about. And even though, once John Edward, my friend, calls it being on the bus, okay, eventually that bus gets us to the other side, okay? I think of it as being asleep. Some people fall asleep, which your son did. His mind could not encompass that he wasn't there anymore. He knew he was going to wake up. But eventually we all wake up, and now we're on the other side, okay? And here's the interesting thing. When they're on the other side, they can see us and hear us, okay? It's we who can't see and hear them, okay? So if you just know within yourself that he will hear you when you say, I love you, honey, or when you share a moment with him and you say, this absolute wonderful thing made me think of you, so I just wanted to send this happy thought to you. It's a nice giggle, isn't it? You can share with him. Now, he's not going to be able to respond unless you develop your mediumship ability, which everybody has, okay? But you can talk to him, and he will hear that, and he'll get the positive and happy up energy, okay? And that, I find, is one of the things that helps we folks who get left behind here to be able, now this sounds almost the opposite of the way it is, but it helps us to be able to let go and wish them well when we have to say, okay, you crossed beyond me, beyond where I can touch you every day, but I wish you well on your journey. And the fact that we can still be able to know they can hear us and that we're allowed to talk to him. You don't have to stop talking to him. You don't have to stop saying his name. He is still a part of you, and it's all okay. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, everybody thinks I'm a little crazy because I talk to him all the time. But you know what? I know it's one question, but I want to ask you one more thing. My little grandson sees him.
Yeah.
He doesn't even know. My son held that baby. He was maybe 5 months old when our son died. And my little grandson, we really don't talk about my son around him, but he talks to him and says hi to Joey. He says hi to him, I see you. My daughter called me last night. She couldn't believe that this little baby's pointing up at Joey.
Yeah. And in time, it may not, but it's normal for that to happen initially and gradually over time diminish, because your grandchild is focusing on this plane, and your son is going to be developing a life on the other planes. So over time, that connection will normally diminish. But it's normal. There's nothing unusual about it. The thing is that in our society, since we have a problem accepting these things, a lot of people, say, "Oh, don't make that up," and so the kid shuts that down. Do you see? But
Yeah.
many, 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 many children will see spirits. It's a not an unusual thing at all, especially if that person had a strong emotional connection to someone they're close to, which obviously he did. So.
Yeah, my son, he loved him, wanted that baby so bad. He wanted a little nephew so bad. So
He got him.
yeah.
And this, we could go on and on about this all evening. He may even.
Oh, I know you have other people who have questions, I'm sure. I really appreciate this. Thank you so much.
And it was a great question. I'm certain that it hits a lot of people in their own life and their own hearts. So thank you very much for asking that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I love questions like that because it opens up areas that everybody has questions about and everybody has their own feelings about, and we all need to consider this stuff. So thank you. And Lisa, who is next?
Alrighty, the next person is going to be Clayton. Clayton, you are unmuted.
Hello, can you hear me?
Clayton. Yes, I do. Loud and clear.
Hi, Cindy. Thank you so much. I'm Clayton from Dallas, and I'm a Libra. And I am most grateful that my family is doing okay in Florida as well. I really just wanted to ask what would be going on for me in the next 6 months.
Oh, that's a big one. Clayton, are you thinking of making a move, like in your residence?
Well, like every time I pull cards for myself, it keeps saying that. And then I've had other intuitives tell me that as well. And like I really feel like I need to move and I really want to, but I haven't like really been actively looking to.
Yeah, well, I've got to tell you, I don't think it's going to simply happen. Okay. And I think that I don't know what it is you're holding on to, but I think that you've been holding on to something for quite some time. It's a very emotional issue, and you've been unable to let it go. I don't know if it's a person or a situation, but you are slowly coming to the understanding that there is nothing that you can do or say or act on to change that situation. It simply is what it is. And when you have finally gone fully through the letting go process there, you're just going to move. It's not as if you don't have the place you could go. It's that you're still holding on to something that's no longer there.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
That totally makes sense. I mean, I totally know I know exactly what you're talking about.
I
So,
thought you did.
okay.
And, the key here is that everybody heals in their own way, and in a way, isn't this almost the same thing we were talking about with Josephine, my last caller? We all go through losses, and they affect us all in different ways, and we all heal differently. This is the most important thing. There have been so many different books that are written about how to let go and written about grief. And I mean, you can go on and on and on. There are support groups all over the place. And, guess what? They are all of tremendous help. But not a single one of them is going to address your issues exactly. Okay? So when you get done working through this, and you will, okay, all of a sudden the sun's going to come back out again, and you're going to be like, oh, that's where I need to be. And it's going to be just that simple. And when it happens, it's going to happen very fast.
Right. Okay. Perfect. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Oh, have you gone over like what's going on with Libra?
No, I didn't. And you and I are connecting right now, which is great, because I was just looking at the chart and saying, no, don't go quite yet, because we need to tell you what's happening with Libra. This house right here, most of the sixth house, because signs only have 30 degrees in them, so with 27 degrees here on this cusp, the whole previous part of that sign, Libra, is right here in the sixth house. So Libras, number one, need to be looking out for their health. Most Libras are considering expanding their lives in some way, and that could be through a move, through travel, through more social interaction with people, but there's a lot of action here. And this connects very closely into Virgo. So you Libras are being uncharacteristically picky right now as well. You're getting that connection. You're looking at, well, this is what I want, but nah, that's not good enough kind of stuff. Or that doesn't fit my dream or my view exactly, so I'm not going to do that. But the most important thing of all right now is taking care of either your health or the health of somebody close to you. That's really paramount for Libra. And whatever the situation is, you Libras, there's this feeling that you almost morally have to do this. So this is more than just, wow, it's my job. There's a really deep moral feeling. I've got to take care of this situation. I can't just let go or move on or change my life until I take care of this situation. There's this moral feeling of focusing on it. And that is also true for people who are Aries, for people who are Capricorns, and for people who are Cancers. Now, if you're a Capricorn or a Cancer, the focus is more on the home and the family and being the caretaker there. But all of you, those are the cardinal signs. All of you cardinal sign people, even you Aries who want to be free, right now you're turning around and you're saying, well, I've got to do this first and this first and this first and this first, So there's all this sense of moral obligation to take care of stuff that you're dealing with. Is that
Okay.
Clayton?
Yes. That is so helpful and so true because I am super picky right now,
Yeah,
which is it's very uncharacteristic of me.
and it's not,
Normally go with the flow.
and it's not necessarily a bad thing because sometimes, you Libras and not just the Libras, all of you cardinal people, sometimes you can be so easygoing that the world walks on you. And so this momentary thing that's going on for you right now of being more, having greater discretion and being more picky and being more centered about what's good for you, it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. For now, it's needed. Okay?
Okay. Thank you so much, Sandy. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome, Clayton. Thanks for stopping in. And Lisa, who is next?
I just want to say to Clayton first, it's a good thing, Clayton. I'm a Libra too. I feel you. I know what's going on. Okay, your next person is going to be Barbara. Barbara, you are unmuted.
Hey, Barbara. I don't hear you, Barbara. Are you talking? Your mic is unmuted, but I'm not hearing you. Are you turned down, maybe?
Hello, can you hear me?
Now I can. Good.
I'm sorry, I didn't have a question tonight. I must have left my hand up from from earlier.
Well, Barbara, thank you, because it's always a pleasure to hear your lovely voice. Obviously, Barbara is one of my long-term students, folks. Thanks, Barbara.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So who is next, Lisa?
All righty, next we're going to go down to R. Bella. You are unmuted.
Oh, wow. Hi. Hi, everyone. Let's see. I wrote down everything in the beginning. What am I grateful for? My lovely family and friends. And I live in the South, and I hope you all are well in Florida because I'm in Louisiana, so we have hurricanes as well. And I know, yes, I know the challenges when the electric goes out and all of that. And I'm a Leo. And hello, everyone, and I hope you're having a great night.
We are having a lovely night.
Wonderful, wonderful.
And let me just address Leo. I did address you a little bit, but let's go into this a little bit more deeply. All of you Leos, folks, here, look at this collection in the fifth house, which is about children and romance and creativity, and you've got the moon, so your emotions are very focused on those things. Venus, so your desires are on those things. The North Node, which is, guess what? Those things that I just mentioned, they're lining themselves up to help you to grow. Right now, it's really kind of nice to be a Leo. On the other hand, we have Mars and Mercury in this same house, kind of affecting Leo and making you also picky.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I'm very picky.
So this pickiness is affecting Libra. I don't know how it's affecting Virgos themselves, but it's definitely affecting Libras and Leos a lot, okay? But this is a great time for romance, and whether you're in a relationship or not, and they're saying yes and no. I don't know what the heck they mean by that, but my guides are saying yes and no. But if you're in a relationship, it's a great time to bring romance into that relationship. If you have children, it's a good time to give them support in all the wonderful, beautiful, joyous things that they're doing, because they can make tremendous headway with their own goals and dreams right now. And, Leos tend to be very artistic and creative people. And right now, that creativity for you is at a peak. So, if you're thinking about developing a career in something which is creative or branching out into something new, your timing on that will be very good. So, what is your question?
Let's see. My question is, I guess I feel kind of stuck. Yeah, I feel super stuck. It looks like every time I find a job, it just all of a sudden disappears. And I think I'm just, in the field trying to survive, but I really want to do something like, I think I have skills maybe in channeling or psychic development, and that's what I really want to do. But right now, I'm just looking for stability so I can train in something I really, really want to do. So I'm wondering, why do I feel so stuck? I've never been stuck in my life until now. It's
Um,
very weird.
can I ask you a
Hmm.
personal question? Let's get back
Hmm.
to the relationship thing going on right now, because I'm seeing a young man around you who would either be a lover, husband, or possibly a son or a young man that you're just really close to. Um,
Hmm.
and and I
No. Hmm.
go ahead.
Yeah, because actually, no, there's actually no one. I kind of recently moved into the middle of nowhere, so there's actually nothing here. Yeah, there's no people, or unless it's a guide that I don't know of.
This is not a guy. So
Not
then
a guide.
let's look at the last guy that you were involved with.
Ah, that was a very long-term relationship.
And he,
Very,
right.
very powerful relationship.
And he was, hold it, and he was stuck, and he still is stuck.
Yeah, he was stuck.
And he
Yeah,
is contaminating you into still being stuck. So even though,
really.
right. So, people forget this is going to be a great opportunity for me to explain about the worldwide psychic web. Okay.
Yes, yes.
If you study my material, I talk about it a lot. Okay, there really is. I mean, people, psychics can see that web work even going through the air. We're all attached. We're all connected to each other. And when you've had a very close relationship, a sexual relationship, a long-term loving relationship with somebody, that creates these electromagnetic currents between you and that other person. And until, the reason it's so hard to lose somebody you're close to, either because they die or they move away or they fall out of love, quote unquote, with you or you with them, the reason it's so hard isn't just because you have the memories, it's because you have these electromagnetic tendrils that go back and forth between you. And they
Mm.
carry currents. And he isn't letting go. And you are
Oh, yeah.
right, and you are this giving, loving, wonderful person who doesn't ever want to hurt anybody's feelings, which is the reason why that relationship probably went on for 4 or 5 years longer than it should have, because
Mm-hmm.
you did not want to hurt him. The thing is that, by him holding on, holding on, and you just feeling like you still had to be there when you didn't want to be there, that relationship had turned into him being a vampire on your energy.
Yeah.
And here you
That's it.
are,
I
right,
moved away. That was the only way to get away, was to move
right.
in the woods.
But
Yeah, I'm in the woods right now.
right,
Yeah.
you got away, you hid in the woods, but he's still calling, he's still thinking about you, he is still pulling on. And what's interesting is that the more you try to pull away, the more he's getting stuck and hanging on. Okay? So guess what? One of your major lessons right now, if you want to move on to have a future with somebody else, is to not return his texts, his emails, his phone calls. Here's a nifty little secret that I have taught to my students for a long, long time. And everybody
Mm-hmm.
here can use this one if you want to get rid of somebody out of your life that's been bothering you. Take
Mm-hmm.
a candle that reminds you of the person, i.e., if he liked to wear a lot of blue, get a blue candle. This is the
Mm-hmm.
only time you're able to use somebody's name, white magic. That's what this is.
Mm-hmm.
Inscribe, take your fingernail or a sharp implement and write on the candle his name and that he
Mm-hmm.
can no longer affect you emotionally, physically, spiritually, or mentally. Write it right on the candle. And then wrap the candle in tin foil with the shiny side in and put
Mm-hmm.
it in your freezer and keep it there forever. Do not take it out, ever. And what happens is any thoughts he projects towards you will come back to him, period. And then don't return those emails. Don't, you get my point? Really cut them off, okay?
Right.
When you finally have cut Mr. Stick in the Mud off, you will be free to be the energizing, really loving person who just makes the best of everything that you touch and always lands on her feet and in a good place. That's you.
Wow. So
But
is that what's draining me? Because I've been drained ever since, the breaking up. Yeah, I actually, yeah, avoided all the phone calls and everything. I completely blocked the number, but I think he visits me in the dreams.
he absolutely does. Yeah, he does.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
psychically hanging on, And folks, this is real stuff we're talking about. It sounds like
yeah.
sci-fi, but it's not. This is real stuff. I'm going to tell you folks a little story. Didn't happen to me. One of my students, who became a good friend of mine, who
Mhm,
who's a little older, so she's now deceased, and so I can talk about her. Okay, this
mhm.
woman had been a vaudeville dancer back in the 50s, and she fell in love with this guy that was she was head over heels with him rather, and it didn't work out. Okay, it turned out that the guy was married. They ended up breaking up. She went one direction in life, he went the other direction in life, and she ended up marrying somebody else and getting out of vaudeville and getting into normal life with a housewife, raised two kids. And when I met her, she was in her 50s. Her kids were just about fully grown, but every night, probably for 30 years, she had had fantasies of this guy that she loved so much that she found out was married, so they had to split up. Every night she would have these fantasies about him. For 30 years, she dreamed of him. Well, don't you know that one day, and this happened when I knew her, one day the guy turned up on her doorstep, screaming at her, rang the bell, screamed at her, and said, "Get out of my life, get out of my dreams. You have ruined 3 marriages."
Wow. Oh no.
And he wasn't a psychic, okay? He was just a normal, average, everyday guy. But she was a very, very strong psychic projector. And she said, "Oh my God,
Mhm,
Sandy, I never knew what I was doing to him. I'm so, so sorry." So, you don't have to be a psychic to be able to be using psychic energy in a way
yeah,
that causes harm, you see? And that's what the
right.
man is doing with you. He is absolutely connecting. So you're going to need to put him in the freezer. Um,
Freedom. And you said that, yeah, I'm gonna have to listen to this again. You said the shiny part on the inside of the candle. I have to do this.
Yep,
I
yep,
have
it
to do
works.
this.
Yep.
Yeah.
And, initially when you do it, don't be surprised if there is suddenly a flurry of him trying to find you again, because it will cut him off. And if that doesn't
Yes, I
work,
know.
he will disappear. Thank goodness. Okay.
Yeah, and secretly I knew he was a vampire. I just knew it, but it was, I couldn't, yeah, it was just scary.
Well,
Yeah, I
and
thought he was what they call it, the twin flame, the not the twin flame, but the soulmate that you're not supposed to be with, the one that messes your life up. I think that's what he was. Yeah.
okay, and it is time to move on, and you can. And once you really do have a good focus in your life, and you have your feet on the ground, and
Mhm.
you have the jobs that are going to pay the basic bills, which is what you're looking at, and you have
Mhm.
the dream of becoming a psychic, and that will work for you. But I've got to tell you, it hasn't worked for you so far, and nothing worked for you when you were with him, because every
Mhm.
single thing that you wanted to do, his negativity got in the way of your being able to do it. So
Yes.
in the future, surround yourself with people who believe in you and who will support your dream. Okay? And if they can't support it, if they can't at least give you the right to have your dream, you see, then they're not for you. Okay?
Right. Okay. Definitely.
Good luck.
Great. So is that a good field for me to go into the channeling?
It's a good, two different things here. You
Uh-huh.
have the ability and you could do very well, but and I tell this to all my students, getting graduating from my psychic development program gives you a tremendous foundation to be able to do psychic readings. However, it's not going to guarantee you a job as a psychic, because in our society we don't have those jobs. So you've got
Mm-hmm.
to go out and create your own business. And it
Right.
requires you having some form of support system to bring money in while you create that business. So no, you're not going to be able to just walk into a job with it. But if you have that job that's paying the basic bills and you're
Mm-hmm.
training as a psychic, you do have the ability eventually to be able to support yourself doing that. And it wouldn't take you nearly as long as he tried to make you think it would.
Oh, good. Oh, good. Yes, yeah, exactly. Because I am patient. I can do the work. It's like like I said, me, once I get a stable job and I can, earn money, take care of myself while I'm studying, then yeah, and I don't mind. I don't mind. I'm patient. Yeah, so I'm so glad. Thank you so much for that candle. Yeah, the candle, I have to put him in the freezer and
Yep,
cut those cords.
yep.
Yeah.
My suggestion. Good girl.
Hmm.
So much. That's
Thank you so much.
good information. Thank you. And Lisa, who is our next person?
Alrighty, the next victim is going to be Samantha. If I can unmute her. And it says, Samantha, you have to enter your PIN number.
Oh, Samantha must be on the telephone. Okay.
She is on the telephone. While she's trying to do that, do you want to move on to the next one and then come back?
You can come back to her when we're done with that next.
Alrighty, then I'm going to go up to Amy. And Amy, it says you're self-muted. There you go.
I can't hear you, though. You may need to turn your mic up. Because you're unmuted, but I cannot hear you. Now yep. You muted yourself, then you unmuted yourself, so you're unmuted right now, but you're not. Your mic is not working. Okay, Lisa, I'm going to have to move on. We're running out of time, so I'm going to have to move on to the next person. Sorry, I'm sorry, Amy.
Alrighty, and we're going to go down to Angel. Where did she go? You're unmuted.
You're unmuted.
Hello.
Yes, hello there.
Hi. I'm grateful for my family and my husband. I'm an Aries. And my question, I guess, would be, where should I be heading from here? I basically moved, business closed down, and I'm kind of teetering on being a psychic medium.
When you say teetering, what's stopping you?
I guess I don't trust my skills.
You know, I've got to fault you for that. Sorry. I want to beat you up for that.
Go right ahead. Give me a good swift kick.
Exactly. The reason I said what's stopping you is because it's obvious from what I'm looking at here that it is your desire. You actually do have support from your husband and your family to do it. You've been able already to do some absolutely fabulous things and help people a lot, so you've been able to work with it some. You may need to be able to be more consistent, and frankly, that could come from either taking a class or just doing a whole lot of practice. Okay, that's how people develop consistency, is by doing. There is a woman around you that tends to be very undermining of your skill and ability. Now, this is the interesting thing. I don't know if this gal is around you right now, or if she was around you like in your childhood, so you've got this little voice inside of you from her that says, oh, you can't do this. What's your sign?
Aries.
That's right. So I'm just looking at the chart to see where this is coming from. I would want, my first thought was your mother, but it could be if you have an older sister, it could be her too.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
And
Could you just
go ahead.
her cousin?
Yeah, and the thing is that this is, when somebody says, I want to do this, but, that but makes me really look at it. If you really want to do it, you've got to do it. And so I'm looking at what's holding you back. And when you say, oh, I don't know if I'm good enough, I don't know if that's really true. I think what might be more true is that you don't know if they think you're good enough. And the fact is, you may as well accept that they're not ever going to think you're good enough. So why worry about it?
True, I'm working on that.
Okay? I know that really sounded terrible, but heck, you're never going to be a good enough. You're not going to be a good enough house cleaner. You're not going to be a good enough, teacup mender. So you're certainly not going to be a good enough medium either, as far as they're concerned. And that's just that's their trip. That's their problem. Don't worry about it. Okay.
Okay. So I guess now let's just build the business.
Just do it. Just do it. Do what you love, Now, I will say that, you're a little bit concerned about putting, and this isn't them, this is a real concern. You're a little bit concerned about putting too much pressure on, I guess it's your husband, to be the primary support, okay?
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, so you may need, to keep doing that 9-to-5 job until you can build a consistent revenue up to be able to quit the 9-to-5 job. And guess what? The beautiful thing about doing mediumship readings is that you can do it on the weekend or at night after work. You can schedule one night a week for that, and it will not interfere with your life. Isn't that wonderful? It's a great way to start a business. Okay.
Yeah, I don't have the 9-to-5 job because of health reasons, and doing this type of work would fit in to help the health reasons and bring the extra cash in.
Certainly would, and it would help a great deal. And you've been like, no, and this is another, but this is another part of what stops you. I need the 9-to-5 because I need the guaranteed income. Okay.
Yes.
And how can I charge these people all this money if I'm not consistent enough to be able to do that? And you have all those in your mind, okay? My friend,
you're good.
You need to, guess what? I started this program talking about the mastermind coaching program I've got coming up. And you are the ideal person to take that program, because we're going to help you work through all that stuff and get started and be able to honestly make some money helping people and feeling good about it.
Yeah, I went on your webpage and I couldn't find the link to register.
That's why I put it right here on this slide. This is why, because I went on the page and, the only way you're going to do it is you got to click on the little icon that says Mastermind Coaching, and it will bring you to this. But you can also write it down, copy it down, go right into it here, and it'll take you right in. That's the link.
Okay, I shall do that.
And thank you so much. And I expect you to be doing this work professionally. And I think that you're gonna just be amazed at how well you can do it, and how much support you get, not from the extended family, but from your immediate family. And it's gonna warm your heart. You're gonna be amazed. You really are. So good for you.
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome. And Lisa, did we find out if she was able to get her telephone to work?
I believe she did, because now it's red instead of gray. So I'm going to click on it again. All right, Samantha, you're on.
Hi, I'm on. Hi, thank you, Lisa. Hi, Sandy. My name is Samantha. I'm a Virgo. I live in Florida, and I'm most grateful right now for the support of my family and friends. And I did want to mention, you read me about 17 years ago, and you were the first psychic reader I ever had experience with when you were at Star Child Books.
Uh-huh.
I had read a book from John Edwards, and your name was listed in it, and that's how I tracked you.
Awesome.
And then from there, John Culbertson has been my reader for almost 17 years.
Well,
you remember John Culbertson?
I certainly do. You're in good hands there. Please tell him a hello when you see him again. Great guy.
I will. Thank you. So my question today is, I'm an inventor, and I've been working on a product for about 15 months, and I'm going to launch it next month. And I'm just hoping for some positive feedback and some direction that I feel like I'm on the right path towards that. Anything you can grab from that?
Well, I think the product, I'm getting product project. It's like a combination, but I'm getting to both words. And I feel like you are following your own guidance. So you're guided in what you're doing. It's not just, wow, I have to do this. And I think it's going to do very well. But why are they showing me two? Are there two products? Or two
No, I have others in my mind that I would like to work on as I get one off the ground.
Okay. And it feels like this one has to come, whatever the other one is, they will be linked, and this one has to come first. Okay? So they're not showing this as one product. They're showing it as two. And they're saying that there's something that you have been avoiding, not listening to here. Isn't that interesting? And the reason I'm sorry, I'm talking to myself here. The reason I'm saying isn't this interesting is because it's almost like you were offered something. Maybe you were offered something for it before you were ready to release it or launch it, and said no because it wasn't ready. Excuse me, or maybe it wasn't ready in your mind. But it may be a little bit harder at this point, or take a little bit longer for you to get it off the ground because you were trying to be too much of a perfectionist with it. Okay. What is it? Oh, I know I can't ask you because it's not launched yet. Darn. What is this wonderful thing? If we were in private talk, I would tell that to you. But I do think it's going to be very successful. But I also think, is this something you're looking to sell? Like once it's done, it's out of your hands?
Eventually, yes. I think that's the direction that I would like to take it, is to work it as much as I can so I can learn the process myself, and then perhaps sell it to another company in a couple of years, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, because I think that what's going to happen is that its real value to you is going to come when you sell it. Okay? And up until then, it's going to be a constant it's going to be in constant motion. It's going to be in constant development. Okay? And I think what I was trying to get before is that you might have been able to sell it as a concept and didn't, and will ultimately sell it as a finished project, but a project that's still becoming. Okay? So whatever it is, it's just going to get tweaked and then tweaked and then tweaked and then tweaked and then tweaked. And there will be another project or another product that's attached to it. It's not going to be just one thing. It'll be a combination.
Yes, and that makes sense to me. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Yep. So you're on the right path. It's going to take a lot of work. Not a whole lot of money coming from it initially. You should stick with it, though, because it will eventually pay you back. There will be at least, you said a lot, probably 5 or 6 other projects that you work on before the real money from this one comes in. Okay? And I hope I hope that's like, okay, I can see that. That's working with what I'm thinking. Okay?
Well, it is. I mean, as an inventor's creative mind, I guess. I mean, I have very simple project ideas that I just need the finances to kind of bring them to fruition. Right. But I have multiples, probably at least 5 or 6.
Okay, that's what I'm seeing then. And so this was one of the maybe initial ones to get off the ground. It's going to be one of the last.
It seemed like the easiest ones, yeah.
Yeah, but it's not. You only think it is. There are easy ones that you'll be getting into along the way, and that'll be good for you. This one is the one where you're going to break the ground, and you're going to learn the pitfalls, and you're also going to learn that it's not necessarily, sometimes you're going to be working with just a concept. Sometimes you're going to be working with the whole thing all the way through. Sometimes it's going to be a concept that can be blended with something else that's an actual project. So, this one is maybe the most interesting because as you're working through it, all these pitfalls are teaching you how to do this. This is a learning experience. Okay?
Yes.
And the other ones will actually be easier because you will have learned on this. Okay?
Excellent. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Have fun. And I'm going to take one more, Lise. That's my payback for keeping you gals and guys waiting for so long at the start of this call. And and let me remind you before I do this, let me just remind you all these good and wonderful things I was telling you about. That the next Psychic Hour, please make a note of it, will be on October 8th. The Mastermind Coaching in how to develop your psychic or intuitive business, October 10th, 17th, and 24th. The Psychic Cruise November 25th through December 2nd. You can go to my website or contact Lisa at lisasainc@aol.com to get a regular reading with me. Those are my all of my announcements I want you to kind of take with you into bed tonight so you think about them. The other thing I want to make mention of, if any of you are interested in developing your skills as a medium, my psychic development program has just entered the mediumship level. So if you've got a good foundation in psychic development and you want to study to be a medium, you would be able to jump in even though it's in progress. Okay, who's our last person?
That's a heck of a way to say that. Let me see. Down here. Okay. Your last person for the evening is Michelle with the Z. Michelle, you're unmuted.
Hello.
Hi, Michelle.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good. Just one moment.
And where are you calling from?
Okay. I'm from Iowa, and I'm a Cancer.
Michelle,
And I.
hold on. There is a television going on in the background, so we're having trouble hearing you. Can you turn that down, please?
I'm not. I think it's some extra noise, or it might be my microphone.
No, there are actual voices. It's like there's a ball game or something going on behind you.
Oh. Okay. Yeah. Can you hear me fine now?
That's much better. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So I'm a Cancer, and I'm most grateful for my health, and I'm from Iowa. So my question is, I've taken your advice about keeping the kittens. I was wondering how many I should have, and because I already have 5 animals in the house, and then I've added another, 1 mother and 4 kittens. And I'm having trouble acclimating everybody or accommodating everybody. And I was wondering, is there somebody that you can recommend that could help me with this, or do you have some further advice that we can have a happy household?
Actually, I do, and there is a person that you are going to be able to find on my Facebook page, okay, whose name is Beverly. At least, what's Beverly's last name? Because she has a ton of cats and has managed to acclimate all of them. So I'm sure you'd be able to ask her some questions. What's Bev's
Her last name is Frable.
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 And you can also find her on my webpage. She is the person who does the tarot coaching. So a fabulous reader, great person. And I'm sure you could ask her that question on either her own webpage, but you can find her webpage through mine on Facebook. Okay? And my own suggestion, and this is what my guides are saying, is that animals tend to be very territorial. And especially if you've had one group of, mixed cats and whatever else you have that have lived together for some time, and now you're bringing in another group, you're ending up getting this where they're going to gang up on the other group. You're going to have different groups, or one is going to be ostracized. It might be the easiest thing to acclimate them by bringing in the groups together, but not the whole group, like 2 or 3 of the cats from one group and 2 or 3 from a different group, to get them to familiarize with each other in small amounts first.
Yeah.
Okay, the other thing you might do, and I've seen people do this, is just to have separate parts of the house where the different groups live. Okay, so the younger group that's brand new might have the basement of the house. The other group might have the upstairs of the house. They will get along if you give them their territories.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but talk to Beverly because she really is going to have a much better insight into this than I do. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
Super.
And I'm going to let you go because the sound quality is not so good, and it's a little disturbing for people to listen to. But folks, it has been my pleasure to work with you this evening. I want to remind you, if I was not able to answer the question for you that you have tonight, and you didn't get to talk to me, you can shoot me through a question either through Lisa or right here through this website. There's a link to me. But it's got to get to me by this time tomorrow evening, or I will not open it. Okay? And I will open them in the order I get them, and I'll get to them as quickly as I can in the next couple of weeks. Okay? Thank you very, very much. I'll see you back here next month, same time. You have a great month. Bye-bye.